Good morning, good evening, friends. Welcome to my channel Ek Kitab Se Ek Moti. Today I'm going to read a few lines from this great book written by Shri Swami Sivananda, and the title of the book is How to Become Rich. Now this might seem a bit strange, the title coming from a Swami, so we might really question whether a Swami who has retired from normal life can have some significant things to say about acquiring wealth. Before Swami Sivananda became a Swami, that is, he left the worldly activities, he was a very successful person in his own life, and he used to earn a lot of money. So he did make a lot of money, earned a lot of money. Now this term make money, there is a very great teacher in the US, his name is Rabbi Daniel Lapin. What he says is, it's not a good idea to use this phrase make money, because we usually don't make money, we earn money. Making money has this maybe slightly negative connotation of getting it somehow without effort. I'm just thinking that maybe that's the reason why he's against this phrase. So I would just follow that, and I'll say this book is about earning money, and Swami Shivananda used to earn a lot of money before he became a Swami. So what I'm trying to say is he does have some experience in earning money, and he has some knowledge of how to become rich in our lives, our secular lives. But this title needs to be understood in its broader context. So in this book, Swami Shivananda not only focuses on becoming materially rich, but he focuses on becoming spiritually rich as well. So the focus is twofold. On the one hand, he talks about how to become rich materially, that is, acquiring wealth and increasing our earning capacity in the secular world. And then there is also a section, in fact quite a few chapters devoted to becoming spiritually rich. So in most of Swami Shivananda's books, even the books on success or books on public speaking, you'll always see this stress on spiritual values and developing virtues and becoming a good person, kind of inculcating good behavior and good values, and behaving well and being decent in our lives, and practicing concentration and self-control, and a lot of spiritual virtues actually. So Swami Shivananda is never, I think, one-sided in his approach. So even, if you read his most famous book, Sure Ways for Success in Life and God Realization, he has beautiful ideas on how to be successful in our secular field, like our profession or our job or career or business, and also how to be successful in the spiritual field, that is, how to acquire character, how to experience the sense of divinity around us, and a lot of other things on spirituality. So I would recommend most of his books. You can buy this book from the Divine Life Society as well, although an online copy is available. It's a very small book. You can download an old version of that. Now remember, this copyright thing is important, so when you read some online book, just make sure that it was published 60-70 years ago, so we are not violating the copyright of any existing books. So try to read from old editions that are available for free. So now let me come to the concepts that we are going to discuss in today's videos on how to become rich. So the first principle there are many principles. So let me just give you an outline of this book, how this book has been designed. I think this was first published in the year 1950, so almost 75 years ago. And it has been dedicated to all seekers of prosperity, peace, and happiness. And the author is Swami Sivananda, as I said. Let me read the preface. Now, the pronunciation of preface is, the standard pronunciation of preface is preface. We also occasionally hear this pronunciation preface. That's the Indian variety of that pronunciation, but the standard pronunciation is preface. Preface or preface, slightly the E sounded than preface. So let me just read a portion from the preface of this book. The title of the book, How to Become Rich, does not exclusively relate to material prosperity, for if it does so, there can be no permanent value to it, not at all worthy of aspiration to a really intelligent person. Nor is the title ascribed to one's spiritual bounty as opposed to earth or earthy. For again, if it means so, then this work will be useful and have its effect upon hardly 1 in 1,000. But the title suggests both. It is a compromise of the two, not in a sense of intermingling of both, but in the sense of the first one being an educative and preceding factor of the second. That is what How to Become Rich means to the majority of the readers. The book is as well a very thought-provoking spiritual treasure house to those rare gifted Adhyatmik Dhiras. Now these are Sanskrit terms. Adhyatmik is spiritual. Dheer is someone who is kind of very daring and very patient. So from that word we also get dhairya. We also get the Tamil word dhairyam. So dhairyam is like not only bravery and courage, but also patience. So it has various connotations. So to those rare gifted Adhyatmik Dhiras who will but center the entire significance of riches to the latter half of the work. Hence, it is not devoid of a message to them. So you can derive spiritual lessons from this book. You can derive material lessons, lessons on acquiring material riches, and you can acquire both. So most of us are interested in both. I think very rare individuals are interested in become only materially rich, although looking at most of the modern emphasis, we think that the emphasis seems to be more on just the material side. So it is rarely, it's rare to find a person who is interested only in material riches and not in spiritual riches. So this book has been addressed to a wider audience, which includes us, which means I think at least I can talk for myself. I'm interested in both things. I'm interested in earning money, and I'm interested in becoming spiritually mature as well and develop my spiritual personality as well. So with those introductory remarks, let me read the portions that I've selected for today. So let me just look at the first principle that I'm going to talk about. So I've selected 2 principles from this, and they relate to certain attitudes or certain practices that you can implement in your life in order to become rich. The first one is practice concentration. Now, Swami Sivananda had a very unusual way of writing. So he used to use all these short words, short sentences, or kind of very interesting way of expressing his ideas. So it's easy to remember some of his sentences. So if you read some of his books, for example, there's one of his books on sadhana, that is spiritual practice. So he'll have these principles just like an acrostic, right? You have the letters on the left-hand side, and then you have some sentence or some words starting with that letter. So for example, he'll have some Vedantic letters of the alphabet. So for each letter A to Z, there will be an idea related to Vedanta. Vedanta, in a sense, the Vedic and the Upanishadic message of India. So he'll have something of that sort, like garland of Vedanta, and then he'll have all these letters from A to Z, so that it's easy to remember certain principles. So I'm just talking about his writing style, which was excellent. I'm sorry. So let us read the first principle. In fact, I'm sorry. I think I promised you something. I told you that I'll show you the outline of the book. So let me just, my apologies, I'll just first quickly go through the outline or the table of contents. So the chapter 1 is about how to be prosperous. Now there are a few funny things. So the first lesson is this: become an adopted son. This is fine, but the other is marry a rich girl. So, I mean, although there is an explanation of all this in the preface, but see, we need not accept everything. I mean, we just take what appeals to us and we discard what doesn't appeal to us. And there are quite a few other good principles as well, like become a self-made man, how to start business, how to win friends, then increase your earning capacity, be ever busy, become an industrialist, do not leave much legacy, make good use of money. Chapter 2 is way to success. So certain things have been mentioned: early to bed, early to rise, never borrow, gamble not, despair not, friend, and repeat the Lakshmi mantra. So the Lakshmi mantra is also there on page 33. I'll give you the Lakshmi mantra at the end of the video. And then chapter 3 is the internal preparation: have a sterling character, develop virtues, and so on. Be truthful, have iron, determination. Chapter 4 is attain perfection. So defects of riches, then money comes and goes. Now this is the spiritual side: supreme wealth of moksha, then become desireless. And then there is an appendix on acquiring wealth, on spending money, golden treasure, Lakshmi Stotram. So I'll read the Lakshmi mantra and the Lakshmi Stotram towards the end of the video. So I think it's on page 33. Let me just have that open. So I'll give you the Lakshmi mantra as well for attaining wealth. So let me just start with the first principle. So the first principle that I'm going to talk about in this video is this: practice concentration daily. Practice concentration daily. A man with good concentration can turn out tremendous work. In a short space of time, concentration is useful. I'm sorry, that was related to the first sentence. A man with good concentration can turn out tremendous work in a short space of time. Concentration is useful in business, office, study, spiritual pursuits, success in life, music, etc. Therefore, develop concentration. Sit on Padmasan. Close your eyes in the early morning hours, 4 a.m. preferably. Concentrate on the form of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, or Om. Have another sitting at 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. So concentration is needed in order to earn money because concentration helps us in our work, whether we are businessmen or we have a job, or we are professionals. We become good at what we do if we can focus and concentrate. So the suggestion that Swami Sivananda has is this: that is, you get up at 4 a.m. preferably early in the morning. Sit on Padmasan is like the crossed leg position, I think, Padmasan. You can just Google and see how Padmasan is done. There are many YouTube videos on how to sit in the Padmasan position. So I'll just tell you the spelling of that: Padmasan, Padmasan. Padma is lotus, so the lotus position. It's also called the lotus position. Asana is posture or position. So the lotus posture or the lotus position. So sit on Padmasan, close your eyes in the early morning, preferably 4 a.m. concentrate on the form of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, or Om. So you can concentrate on any form that you prefer. Now, if you follow a religion that doesn't believe in God of forms, you can focus on some words related to your religion. For example, you can choose some words of the names of your the holy names prescribed in your scriptures, and then you can just focus on them. So concentrate on the form of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, Lord Shiva, or Om. Have another sitting at 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. So morning and evening. What this will do is this will gradually, with practice, will let you become more focused, so that there will be less distraction when you do any task. This is very important. I think even Swami Vivekananda used to talk about the power of concentration. I remember I was listening to one talk delivered by DGP Vikram Singh. He's a follower of Swami Vivekananda. I think he stood first in the civil services examination a long time ago. He was DGP and a great police officer. He has been awarded several medals of honor. So one of his principles is Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami. That is, go to the kind of take refuge in dhyana. That is, practice concentration. So this principle of concentration seems to be like a very common thing. I mean, we hear these words often: meditate, concentrate, focus. But then how do we do that? So Swami Sivananda has a prescription for it. Meditate early in the morning, meditate in the evening. And how do you meditate? You just close your eyes and imagine or concentrate on the form of God. What this will do is this will produce an image in your mind. So for example, when I close my eyes and when I have the image of my deity or the form of the Lord that I prefer, so I can just focus the attention on just his form. So that will help me avoid all these oscillations of the mind. So I mean, all the fluctuations of the mind. So that way the mind will gradually become still and focused like a gentle stream. So the oscillation I was just checking the meaning of oscillation, the action of oscillating. So it's again referring to oscillation. So oscillate is, let me just get the exact definition of this word. To swing back and forth with a steady, uninterrupted rhythm, to waver as between conflicting opinions or courses of action, vacillate. So this kind of wavering will be stopped. So just practice this and see the benefits for yourself. Whether you are in business, whether you work, whether you have a career, you are a professional, it will help you in your job. Now let me come to the second principle that I want to talk about today. The second one has this Latin phrase, nil desperandum. In Latin it means never despair, or nothing should be despaired of. So there are many Latin phrases that we can actually memorize. I had a habit of memorizing many of the Latin phrases when I was in school. So for example, there was one that says dum spiro spero. Now whether it's dum or dum, I don't know, because Latin the pronunciation has been changing, because in the times of before the 1950s, I think, or maybe in the early part of the 20th century, the pronunciation was anglicized, at least in Britain and India as well, I think. But later on, there was this kind of new way of pronouncing Latin, where, for example, Cicero may have been pronounced as Cicero, because the S sound was not there for C, I think. As far as I remember, that's what, because Winston Churchill mentions in one of his reminiscences or one of the chapters on examinations in his autobiography. So he says, the modern guys are trying to change my favorite the pronunciations. For example, for Cicero, it'll be Cicero, and for words like, I don't know whether it is Veni, Vidi, Vici, or Venai, Vinai, Vikai, Vidai, I don't know. But Veni, Viki, Vidi. It means I came, I saw, I conquered. So it's a phrase or some sentences used by Julius Caesar. So he made fun of the new pronunciation by mentioning it thus, like Veni, Vidi, Viki. It looks like Latin has the V sound and English has the V sound for a V. Yeah, so, I mean, these were some controversies related to the Latin pronunciation. So the Latin word here is nil desperandum, that is, despair not. So this is what Swami Sivananda has to say on this principle. Despair not, friend, despair not. In difficulties, loss in business, adversities, sickness, failure, etc., be bold, be cheerful. Strengthen yourself for future work. Draw courage from within. Pray, do japa, meditate. Japa in a sense, repeating the name of the Lord. Get advice from wise persons. Remove your weaknesses and defects. Stand up and roar, Om, Om, Om. Have presence of mind always. March on, hero, boldly, with undaunted spirit and courage. Nil desperandum. Never despair. A brilliant future always awaits you. God does everything for your own good. Failures are stepping stones to success. I'll repeat this. Despair not, friend. In difficulties, loss in business, adversities, sickness, failure, etc., be bold, be cheerful. Strengthen yourself for future work. Draw courage from within. Pray, do japa, meditate. Get advice from wise persons. Remove your weaknesses and defects. Stand up and roar. Om, Om, Om. Have presence of mind always. March on, hero, boldly, with undaunted spirit and courage. Nil desperandum. Never despair. A brilliant future awaits you. God does everything for your own good. Failures are stepping stones to success. So whenever you are trying to increase your earning power or in any new activity, you will face some obstacles, you will face some failures, but you should never despair. Always remember this Latin phrase, nil desperandum, never despair. So you need to imagine a better future. That's what he talks about in one of the sentences here. A brilliant future always awaits you. So when sometimes the present situation looks bleak and discouraging, you can always form images of how your future will be later on. I remember one reminiscence given by Peter J. Daniels, I think in his lecture related to this subject, how to overcome a major crisis. So in that he says that while he was on the operation table and he was about to be subjected to surgery or operation, he was smiling and laughing. The doctor was amazed. So the doctor said to him, why are you so happy? You're going to go through or undergo some kind of painful surgery. So Peter J. Daniels, in a smiling way or smilingly, he replied, I'm imagining how healthy I will be after the surgery. So when you have tough times, imagine how your situation will be once you are out of it. So that's the most difficult part. When we are going through difficulties, our mind kind of refuses to think something positive. It refuses to imagine positive outcomes. So we are just forced to imagine things that are trying to subdue us, all the problems and the difficulties that surround us. So it's difficult, but if you practice what Swami Sivananda says, you'll be able to overcome this. The mind should be under our control. Then the other thing is God does everything for your own good. All the adversities, sickness, failure, you'll always see that most of the times later on, when you look back at those experiences, especially your failures and sicknesses, adversities, you will see that they had a positive impact on your life because they made you more mature, they developed your thinking skills, they made you understand the reality of the world, and they gave you this strength of character and strength of the spirit. So that's what we learn from adversity. And if we believe that it is God who does everything for us, and He takes control of our lives, and we believe that He does everything for our good, we can take adversity in a positive way. Then the other thing is, be bold, be cheerful. So the cheerfulness is very important. Even there is a kural by Thiruvalluvar in which he says, I think idukkan varungal naguge. I'm not sure if that's the exact one. So whenever troubles come, you smile. That's what Thiruvalluvar says. So I think it's idukkan varungal naguge. Now I'm not sure whether the pronunciation is right, but that's what Thiruvalluvar says. So and finally, failures are stepping stones to success. That's a very famous line. So when you fail, just think of that as one more stepping stone added to your journey that leads to the top where success is present. So finally, let me just talk about the Lakshmi mantra that I said I will talk about. So repeat Lakshmi mantra. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. Repeat daily with faith and devotion. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namah. I bow to Shri Mahalakshmi. 5, 10 or 20 malas. There is mala is a, like you have this beads, right? With the beads you have these malas which you can use to count the number of times you're repeating some formula, some name, some divine name or sentence. 5, 10 or 20 malas daily in the early morning and after. Be regular in doing this japa. If you can do 200 malas daily, keep a picture of Mahalakshmi in front of you. You can do a little worship also. Offer flowers, fruits, kheer, etc. Burn incense, wave camphor light. Do havan with Lakshmi mantra. So these are some of the things you can do. But the mantra is Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namah. Mahalakshmi Namah. Other than this, there is also another mantra given in the appendix. Let me see if I can get it. I saw a Lakshmi mantra, another mantra here. Maybe you can read that as well. I'll just read it. I think it's in Sanskrit. Yeah, Lakshmi Stotram. It's a stotram. So I'll just read it. Lakshmi Kshira Samudra Rajatanayam Shri Ranga Dhameshwarin Dasi Bhuta Samasta Deva Vanitam Lokaika Deepankuram Shriman Manda Kataksha Labdha Vibhava Shriman Manda Kataksha Labdha Vibhava Brahmendra Gangadharan Tantrailokya Kutumbinim Sarasijam Vande Mukunda Priyam. Let me read it again. Lakshmi Stotram. Lakshmi Kshira Samudra Rajatanayam Shri Ranga Dhameshwarim Dasi Bhuta Samasta Deva Vanitam Lokaika Deepankuram Shriman Manda Kataksha Labdha Vibhava Brahmendra Gangadharam Tantrailokya Kutumbinim Sarasijam Vande Mukunda Priyam. So even with all our efforts, with all our positive thinking, all our concentration, and with all our effort not to despair, it helps when we also believe that God is on our side. So if you repeat the Lakshmi Stotram and also repeat the Lakshmi Mahamantra, you will definitely prosper. That's what Swami Sivananda says. So we should also trust and believe in some of these great men of faith. So it's not always easy to test everything that we hear from the Swamis or the great noble people of the past. So some things we take on trust and we just put them into practice, and we need to put them into practice for some duration of time. I can't say that I'm going to practice it for a week and if it doesn't work I'll stop. So maybe at least 6 months. 6 months I think is a reasonable time to test a concept. So just don't give up without testing. So let me just finally conclude and recapitulate. So One thing you can do to improve your earning power is practice concentration. So try to get up early in the morning, 4 a.m. preferably. Close your eyes. Remember, sit in the Padmasan posture or the lotus posture, and then think of Rama, Krishna, Shiva, or Vishnu, or any other deity of your choice, or think of Om, and then close your eyes and practice concentration. Focus on the form of the Lord or that word Om. And the other thing is try to do it at 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. In the evening. And the other thing is nil desperandum, never despair. Just believe that God does everything for your good, and failures are the stepping stones to success. Be bold, be cheerful, and never, never, never give in, as Winston Churchill used to say. And the other thing is repeat the Lakshmi Mahamantra and repeat the Lakshmi Stotram. Let me give you the Lakshmi Mahamantra again. I think it was on page 33. Yeah, so the Lakshmi Mahamantra is Om Shri Mahalakshmiyai Namah. Om Shri Mahalakshmiyai Namah. So with this mantra, let me conclude the video. I hope you liked it, but the more important thing is you should practice it and see the benefits of these great principles in your life. Thanks for watching this video.